Hello, everyone. Coming up on this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report. Monday Night Raw kicked off with a huge, and I mean huge, announcement after WWE Champion Drew McIntyre announced that he has tested positive for COVID-19. The WWE Champion have to quarantine himself for at least 2 weeks. Well, will he still have his Royal Rumble match with Goldberg? I'll tell you all the latest on that. Also, Triple H is in the house. What brings the COO of WWE, the game, the Cerebral Assassin, to WWE Raw, and what does his motives is for that night? And you won't believe this. Why in the heck Alexa Bliss did this to Randy Orton? Woo! Ooh, she dropped the fireball on him. You know what I mean? All this more on the Pro Wrestling Show starts after the countdown. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report. I am your host, Kendrick Dix here. Thank you all for watching. Joining the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. Like I said, use the hashtag Pro Wrestling on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe and scan. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Man, what a whole list of stuff. We got the highlights on Raw that we had to get to. Man, we're just merely like 3 weeks away to the Royal Rumble, and it's already Royal Rumble season. All right, let's get started with the Raw Ring Report. All right, on the Raw Ring Report tonight, man, Monday Night Raw kicked off with the Cerebral Assassin, Triple H, the COO of WWE. He came in the house. What was Triple H's attentions was? What did the game wanted to let folks know of what was going on? We already know that WWE champion Drew McIntyre had been tested positive for COVID-19. Drew sent this special message that he wanted everyone to stay a 6 feet distance to get well, and hopefully the champ gets well and gets soon, come back in action. And then Drew did address that he will accept Goldberg's challenge at the Royal Rumble. So the WWE Championship is on the line as Goldberg challenges Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. Will Drew be next, or will Drew shock the world at the Royal Rumble by defeating the Almighty Goldberg? We have to wait and see on that one. All right, we went from there to Triple H. Triple H made his return. What was the game had in store? Well, Triple H came out there to address the audience about being in the Thunderdome, about talking about Legends Night, until Randy Orton interrupted him, and Randy Orton interrupted him about him being a legend, and you know how Randy Orton's sticks is about that. So Randy Orton kept agitating Triple H that he knows him for so long, for about 20 years. You know that, Randy. We know that you and Triple H got history together. Y'all been in evolution together. Triple H was your mentor. You was Triple H's protege. Triple H picked you from obscurity and picked you and Batista along with Ric Flair. So y'all was the version of the 2000, early 2000 version of the modern day Four Horsemen. Well, Randy Orton kept enticing Triple H to accept a match against him one on one because Randy Orton last week on Legends Night berated all the legends. He went from Big Show to Ric Flair to Mark Henry and berated them and you know about them being old and has-beens. And he felt Triple H was in that same league. Randy Orton even went a little bit further. and said that he believed Triple H left his you know what balls in Stephanie's purse. Triple H took exception to it and nailed Randy Orton. And Triple H got so angry, irritated, and mad that he accepted the challenge of Randy Orton for later that night. So Randy Orton versus Triple H, and Randy Orton's challenge, you can call it a non-sanctioned match or whatever you want to call it. It was going to happen between these two phenomenal, you call phenomenal wrestlers. Also, Charlotte Flair was in action. The WWE Women's Tag Team Champion was in action against Lacey Evans. If you recall last week on Raw that Charlotte and Asuka teamed up against Lacey Evans and Lacey's tag team partner, um, Peyton Royce. Well, they won. Lacey and Peyton won the fall due to Lacey's showing her affection to Charlotte's father, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Where Charlotte won a piece of Lacey and she got some of the sassy Southern Belle until the Nature Boy Ric Flair came out there and helped Lacey Evans instead of his daughter with the victory. And Charlotte felt like that Lacey Evans is using Ric Flair to her advantage. And she might be using Ric Flair, and you never know. So Ric Flair getting the upper hand on Charlotte, saying that someone does want him around, and that someone is Lacey Evans. So Lacey Evans and Ric Flair has a newfound alliance. We don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll have to wait and see how this all going to play out between Lacey Evans and Nature Boy Ric Flair and Charlotte going forward. Will Ric Flair be around at ringside for the Royal Rumble between these two ladies? Lacey Evans haven't declared herself in the Royal Rumble, but Charlotte has. So Charlotte looking forward to becoming a repeat winner as she did last year, winning the Royal Rumble last year. Could she do it again? We have to wait and see. Also, Jackson Racker, who's been Elias's follower as of late, he was in action this week when he went one on one against Jeff Hardy. Rocker and Jeff Hardy, no stranger to each other. If you know, back in the Impact TNA days, went against each other. But Rocker got the win, rolling up Hardy by cheating and stuff. Well, Elias wanted a piece himself. Elias did try to get some, but Elias kept a little short after losing to Jeff Hardy. So Jeff Hardy on the roll. I haven't made the announcement that Jeff Hardy ain't in the Royal Rumble as well. So we have to wait and see how this going on. They got a couple of people who need to be in it. I just don't see why they didn't declare themselves. But or WWE, the scheme of WWE on their own. Also in tag team action, the team of Keith Lee and Sheamus team up against the team of former champions, tag champions, The Miz and John Morrison. Keith Lee and Sheamus dominated during the match, and you see right here, Keith Lee broke the buckle bomb off of John Morrison. Why they continue on mistreating John Morrison like that? And he a former Intercontinental Champion, former ECW Champion, former Impact Champion. It's just like John Morrison been returned do a favor to Miz. Well, John Morrison getting brutalized once again, and he lost to Sheamus and Keith Lee, but Sheamus and Keith Lee still having dissension amongst each other. You see right here, Sheamus and Keith Lee trying to chop each other, doing the power bomb, Keith Lee doing a spirit bomb on him, and then all of a sudden it was a matter of respect between the two men. So I guess they got out for a little rough, rocky start, but they kind of like getting roughing their patches. So let's hopefully they can kind of mend their fences together. Also, Xavier Woods on his own for right this week. And you see right here with the G4 logo. So Xavier Woods showing that he's going to be part of the G4 network down the road real soon. As Xavier went toe to toe against T Bar from Retribution. And T Bar, along with Mustafa Ali and the others, Retribution. T Bar made a good point that someone made a point on social media about T Bar about the Capitol riots that happened this past week, which that's unacceptable. But T Bar said, "Don't put Retribution into that group." T Bar made his point clear. Well, T-Bar went against Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods holding his own, and T-Bar and Xavier Woods slugging it out. And at the end, T-Bar won the match. T-Bar looked like he's the dominant mirror in the group, but it's like he was what Damien, not I forgot his name. Dominic Dijak. Just keep it his look as he is. Don't make him look like a monster, but I guess T-Bar said I gotta do what I gotta do. But WWE with these cartoony, corny stuff, you know how that goes. So, also, the United States Championship was on the line as Lashley defended his championship against Matt Riddle, bro. Matt Riddle did his effort best to try to take away the United States Championship away from Lashley, but Lashley managed to put in the hook, the full Nelson, on Matt Riddle to make Matt Riddle tap out. So Matt Riddle, you got to wonder, would Matt Riddle get a shot at Royal Rumble? We just have to wait and see. But Matt Riddle wasn't done yet. Matt Riddle called out MVP. He wanted a piece of MVP. MVP look, lost due to disqualification. But Lashley returned the favor with the mighty spear on Matt Riddle. And you see right here, Matt Riddle getting beat up by MVP. MVP playing like an enforcer slash wrestler. So MVP like a player coach. So no, how that go? We had to wait and see on that one. I believe Matt Riddle, he might get another shot at the U.S. title somewhere down the road, probably at Royal Rumble. We had to just wait and see. Also, the phenomenal AJ Styles was in action after AJ got confronted by Drew Gulak, who Gulak went to WWE official Adam Pearce, and Gulak asked Pearce that if he defeats, if can he get in the Royal Rumble. Pearce told him if you can defeat AJ Styles, you will declare yourself into the Royal Rumble. You earn yourself a spot. Well, Gulak tried, but Gulak unsuccessfully didn't get the win. So Gulak lost in the match. They Gulak tried his best, but they still should gave Gulak a chance. But AJ Styles is in the Royal Rumble as well, so he and look out for AJ sometime this weekend. AJ Styles is supposed to have a special on WWE Network about his time when he debuted at the Royal Rumble and that unforgettable 2006 Royal Rumble when AJ was a free agent. He came to WWE. He finally came to WWE. He never looked back. So AJ Styles. But I think Drew Gulak should get a shot in the Royal Rumble. I don't know why they doing what they're doing. They always delaying stuff. Just every week, week by week, just make it seem like they're gonna enter the Royal Rumble week by week. I don't get it. But that's WWE scheme of things. Also, women's tag team action. As former women's tag team champions Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler was in action against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Not some Mandy Rose. I'm so used to Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Well, the Blondes went against the one former women's tag team champions. The Blondes tried to beat them up, but this ride been going on since Survivor Series, since those them two teams were supposed to be all collective assembled for Team Raw, and they got taken out by Shayna and Nia. Well, Nia Jax didn't even have much of in the match. Shayna Baszler dominated the match, the majority of the match, dominated Mandy and Dana, and made Dana tap out submission. So, like I said, these women right here, and then both of them are in the Royal Rumble. So there's gonna be some chaos right there. Is they gonna turn on each other? Like our truth said on Raw Talk, we just have to wait and see if that's possible. But how they go. And finally, the match where Triple H made his return. Triple H back for a quick minute, after he was called out by Randy Orton. We told you that earlier. He was called out by Randy Orton about his Stephanie got his balls in her purse. Where Triple H didn't take that lightly. The match between the former rivals, They have battled for respect, championships, and grudges. If I can recall one time at Royal Rumble, they had a Royal Rumble match not too long ago, a couple of years ago. It was like 2005, where Triple H went against Randy Orton for the world title, and it's been the rivalry. That's one of Triple H's greatest rivals. I know that's one of Randy Orton's greatest rivals. So they went head to head, and I mean Triple H and Randy Orton giving each other blows, like they normally did back in the early early feuds of them moments and them rivalries. And then Triple H was going to bring his mighty sledgehammer until the sledgehammer went on fire. Triple H wondered what was the sledgehammer on fire for. Even Randy Orton wondered what was going on. All of a sudden, Triple H was setting up for it to kill until the lights went out. The lights went out, and next thing you know, Alexa Bliss came out of nowhere. Alexa Bliss, I didn't know she was there, but Randy Orton didn't even know she was there. Randy Orton looked at confused, pondering what Alexa Bliss is doing out there. Next thing you know, Alexa Bliss hits that scorched Randy Orton with a fireball, leaving Orton, I don't know, temporary blind, if you want to call it. Randy Orton was disbongled. He didn't know what was going on. He was clinging to himself, clinging to the ropes. And next thing you know, Randy Orton, Alexa Bliss was just standing there, just, you know, total amusement that with Randy Orton, getting the punishment and stuff. And she was kind of a little bit happy about it. She got her revenge or retribution over Randy Orton after what Randy Orton, hideous thing Randy Orton had done to the Fiend. If you can recall at TLC when Randy Orton set the Fiend on fire. So I guess this was payback for what the Fiend had done to what Orton had done to the Fiend and Alexa Bliss and torturing Alexa Bliss as well. So I don't know what Randy Orton is going to do next. I don't know what Alexa Bliss is going to do next. It's just get interesting. I guess we found our adult content. What's going on Raw? So USA should be happy with that. Wow, it just got too. It really got too extreme. If you can tell, if I can tell you that. It just got to the point of a screen. So, like I said, the rundown going down this week on Raw. WWE Champion Drew McIntyre was tested positive for COVID-19. He had to take 2 weeks to quarantine himself. He told everyone that he will be back. He accepted Goldberg's challenge, and he will meet Goldberg at the Royal Rumble for the WWE title coming forward. So it's gonna be, well, like I said, I hope Goldberg do not win, but strange things can happen. Like with Goldberg's in a championship match, anything's possible. Believe me, I don't want that to happen, but it can happen. All right. So thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report. We will be back Wednesday for the Wednesday Night Ring Report war for AEW Dynamite and NXT. So what highlights, results, goes on, we're gonna report it. So for me being Kendrick Dix saying so long, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you this Wednesday night for the Wednesday night ring report, AEW and NXT. See you later.